All right, first thing we need to remember about absolute value functions is we're really measuring the distance from 0. And it's also important to remember then the absolute value of -5 is equal to 5, and the absolute value of 5 is equal to 5, because our distance away from 0 is still 5. In terms of our transformations, these remain pretty much the same. Our k value is vertical. That means up or down. So when k is greater than 0, you're going to go up. When k is less than 0, you're going to go down. Internally here, inside the absolute value function, that is our horizontal transformation. When negative h, when we have a negative h, that is h units to the right. And when we have a positive h, we go h units to the left. Okay? A tells us a couple things. When a is less than 0, we flip or we reflect over the x-axis. Okay? Other things about a is also when a is greater than 1, we have a vertical stretch by a. And when a is between 0 and 1, we have a vertical compression by the value of a. Okay? So a vertical stretch is when I pull up on it. A vertical compression is when I push down on it. This smushes. And this, what would I say this? Elongates. Okay? So smush and elongate. So when I look at this graphing of the function, f of x is equal to 3 times the absolute value of x minus 1 minus 2. I'm going to start my absolute value function. All absolute value functions would start at 0, 0, and my transformation, my parent function, I guess I should say, would be the absolute value of x. Okay? So, if I want to look at it here, my vertex is just going to be this, and this. So my vertex is going to come from here. Opposite sign on the parentheses. So we go from -1 to +1, and it's the same sign for my k value. So we're just going to take the opposite sign of what's in the absolute values brackets and the same sign of what's my k value. So it's opposite hk is basically what we'd be looking at. My slope is just going to be my a value here. So my slope would be 3 over 1. My domain for an absolute value function is always going to be from -infinity to +infinity. In my range, when a is greater than 0, my range is always going to be from k to infinity. In this case, my k value is -2. And I'm going to start at -2 and go to infinity. All right. To graph this, I'm going to bring up my calculator. I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to clear anything that's in it. I'm going to type in 3 for my a value, and then to get to, and I'll show the keystrokes here. To get to the absolute value function, I'm going to go alpha window and press 1 to bring up my absolute value sign. Then from there, I'm just going to type in x minus 1, go outside the brackets, -2, and then from here I can just go to my table. I'm going to start at a different table set, by the way. 0 sounds like a good place to start. And I'm going to start and graphing. I have 1, negative 2. So I'm going to take these values over here from my calculator. I know I've got a point at 1, negative 2. I've got a point at 0, 1. I've got a point at 2, 1. Okay, you notice I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 1. My slope. I've got a point at 3, 4. I've got a point at negative 1, 4. And I can go so on and so on from that. Draw those in, and that is my absolute value function. Now you want to go ahead and try some of the absolute value function problems that's in your assignment.